Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Brencia. Now we are doing the continuation of our journey together for Kaleidoscope and DEI. This is a space that is intended to create discussion, and these are challenging discussions. Okay, feel free to action.
I got this new family assigned to me, Miss Yendrick, and I need to go to her house. But I just saw on the news that something happened on a street with a similar name, and so I don't want to go because I don't want to get shot.
So you're feeling like you would be unsafe if you go there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on that, I don't know what's going on there, and I got kids.
You can also ask someone to go with you.
Maybe I could MapQuest it and then drive by. I like that idea.
I'm going to go ahead and open it up for some discussion.
I don't want to go in a neighborhood where there was a shooting yesterday, but there's a difference, I think, in the shooting happening yesterday and just the notion that because it's Inglewood, it's unsafe.
The families within these communities they're victims as well at times. They're not the cause of it, or they're not out there shooting, and we have to respect that this is where they live, right?
Let's have one group talk about the Post-it notes that they put up on this first pillar.
For example, I'm working with a family that speaks predominantly Urdu, and the resources available to them are extremely limited. There is so many other cultures and so many other languages that are needed.
Making sure that our police officers and all the other first responders really have bias training to help reduce some of those decisions that might be racially motivated.
And the language that they should use when making those calls, so that when the police arrive, they are under the understanding that this is a mental health crisis.
When the youth and the caregiver are of the same race, sometimes I fall into some color blindness sometimes and assume they're going to have similar experiences.
Wow, that was a lot to unpack.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you all have so much impact on children and families, and that's what's been the most insightful to me about the work that you all do, is that this feels really important in terms of connecting equity and child welfare.
And I can remember as a worker, being 20-something years old in front of a judge, making decisions on if this parent could keep her kid or not. And I had my own view of what parenting looked like, right? If I really am honest with myself, very white, middle-class value of what my idea of a good parent was. And a family that had resources versus a family that didn't, and access to resources.
It's similar to other government programs where there's not enough resources that are put towards this work, but it feels so much more pressing because organizations in the child welfare system are on the front lines of doing this work.
I mean, child welfare, the idea of children being removed from their families has, right, roots in slavery and how we haven't, as a child welfare system, really acknowledged that. And it's like taking that baton of naming it awareness and moving that to action. And what does that action look like? And I do think that challenging the bias is so huge, right? Because every step of the way in the child welfare system, there's opportunity to go one way or the other.
For everybody that is providing these services and working with these families, in order for them to be good partners, as there is difference, as it's primarily white women who are in this field serving Black families, that there's not the paternalism, like you mentioned, of thinking of these kids, because they culturally are just different. They come from a different background, as bad, or, a lot of the coded language that comes with what we perceive as not the correct way, because there's cultural differences.
And so if we can really equip our staff with these tools and the conversation and this perseverance, I'll call it, to challenge, that very thing. Like, are we keeping this case open because we think that there's something, there's of our own bias versus, you know what, they're doing okay and we're okay, like, let's close this case. But we used to pluck kids out and put them in therapy and, all these different things versus, no, this is a family well-being issue, right? It's a community well-being issue. And we really have to challenge ourselves and the system to think about it in that way. Otherwise, we'll just keep making these decisions that isolate kids and families further and further from really being whole.
Absolutely. And what is absolutely necessary for communities to be well? And what does that look like?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
We'll have that another day.